Westerly is a traditional, actually very untraditional concert band, but made up of the traditional instrumentation: flutes, oboes, clarinet, saxophones, brass, so trumpets, lower brass, euphoniums, baritones, trombones, tubas, and we also have a string bass or electric bass, and also a plethora of percussion. Been formed for around 7 years now, and it's a community band run for adults who maybe have never played before, or have played many years ago, maybe in their childhood, and that fancy getting their instruments back out or joining up with other like-minded musicians and making music. So the repertoire is really varied. We try and cover lots of commercial music, i.e. music that everybody knows, not just the musicians but also the general public, which makes concerts a lot more enjoyable. We've covered Disney, we've covered ska, movie music, light classical, heavy classical, but a very varied repertoire that hopefully appeals to all audiences of all ages. So Westerly Winds has a full and eclectic variety of personalities, ranging from students who are still at college or about to go to college, right up to more seasoned members of the band, all of which getting on and playing and making music together. So over the last 2.5 years we've had a really varied concert programme, and the locations we've played in started, I think, on my first week of being MD, on the side of the road in Bristol, playing for the 10k race through Bristol, and I kind of set the tone of the gigs to come, and although we haven't done it since, we've tried to continue that light-hearted approach to gigs in everything we've done, and expanded that and made the gigs, really tried to step the gigs up to really celebrating the musicians in the band and giving them the opportunity as much as the audience to actually play in some fantastic venues. This year we had the South Bank Centre in Bedminster, where we did a whole evening of movie music. Last year we were fortunate to work with a great choir for our Christmas performance, and of course this year our big Christmas performance on the 15th, which is actually sold out at King's Western House with 2 other choirs. And the gigs are getting bigger and bigger, and really just as much for the benefit of the members as well as the audiences, to give them those memorable experiences. So we rehearse every Wednesday, literally every Wednesday of the year, unless it falls on Christmas Day. We rehearse in Staple Hill in the Youth Foundation, and every week's different. It's a pretty sizable band now, we're up to 34 members with a full complement in most sections. We have always got vacancies in various sections, so it's always worth having a chat and seeing if you play an instrument that we need, or in some occasions we've been able to move other people around as well to accommodate. But the rehearsals are pretty much based on progressing with repertoire, so people come with knowing the kind of repertoire we're working on, and we'll also include technical exercises and warm-ups and scales and all the things that maybe you would get in a more traditional lesson if you were to learn an instrument with a teacher. My own background is coming up through the ranks of the brass bands, where it wasn't traditional teaching or formal teaching, and you learnt through almost being the worst person in the band from the beginning, and every week you'd learn an extra note, every week you'd learn an extra song, which helped you improve. And that's how I've tried to mould the rehearsals here at Westerly, that every week we're really just trying to develop through playing repertoire rather than formal teaching. Although every week we do a little bit of technical exercises, maybe instrument specific, to help certain instruments, but trying to make it very inclusive and make it in a way that everyone doesn't quite realise that they're learning, and actually enjoying that process of becoming better and better every week at their instrument. So playing music, creating music as adults and children is fun, it's enjoyable, it's something to set you up for life in many ways. It's confidence building, it's team working. It can also be really effective for adults, maybe socialising. It opens up a huge social scene, probably a little bit too sociable sometimes, but it's a big sociable band. But if you can think that adults, when they're younger, will learn to swim, they'll learn to ride a bike, but after that everyone tends to then have their career path forward, and we forget to keep learning sometimes, or the sort of skill that maybe takes us out of our comfort zone. And music and playing music this way with other like-minded adults actually really opens up that for maybe adults that learned when they were kids, and now re-engaging with that enjoyment that they had when they were younger, and being able to do it in a group where there's no judgment. We're not playing professionally, although the sound and the expectations is very much professional, but the overall experience is really welcoming and can really help adults socially. So everyone's really busy these days, adults with families, jobs. It's a real pressure sometimes to find time for yourself and time to do something you enjoy, and just those 2 hours a week in rehearsals is a real distraction from all the other pressures that we have, and it really is a benefit to everyone's mind and personal development to actually come along to band and really just enjoy and be with others who are after the same experiences. So having only been with Westerly for 2.5 years, and actually only in Bristol for 3 years, they were really the first group that I came across when moving to Bristol and appointed as conductor, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We've grown in numbers, we've grown musically, and they're just a fab bunch of people to be around, both socially and on stage. So come and check us out, find us, hunt us down, Facebook, Crime Watch, and we'll see you at one of our next gigs or rehearsals if you fancy coming along and having a blow with us. You can't. That'll be alright.